So how can we take our already healthy diet and just take it one step up a notch? Because a lot of you, or honestly every single person on this call, you're already gotten to the point where like we eat healthy and we understand the macro, right? And this is where we're getting a little bit more into the micro. Now, what is actually important when it comes to seeing results in your body? Technically, it's the macro at a short term, but micro at a long term is going to make the biggest difference. We want to pay attention to gut health. We want to pay attention to how we're structuring out our meals. And these are very, very simple tips that I have used that has helped me improve my gut health and just overall variety. So let me share my screen right now. Uh, cool. Can you see my screen? Somebody give me a thumbs up. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So you're eating healthy already. So let's optimize it. How can we add gut healthy variety, building snacks versus meals, and focusing on supporting your training meals and your type of meal? So we're going to go over all of that today. Now, why are we here? As I had mentioned, you're already doing great, but now how can we make these small shifts to unlock even better digestion, better energy, better results? So we want to ask ourselves, like, what am I missing in my diet? Right? How can I take just the potatoes, protein, and green beans and start to enhance it and just start to add a little bit more love, right? Variety, structure, and overall keeping that simple. So we'll start at a very simple concept, which is your snacks versus your meals. So when we go from healthy, you can eat healthy all day, but the one thing that we want to really prioritize is the balance between meals and your snacks. For me, this actually was very difficult for me to master. I didn't really have like a good relationship with my hunger signals because I had tried for so long to barely eat. So building out my meals versus just snacking all of the time, or I kind of ran into my meals were too small and then I would need a snack like 2 hours later. And this part is really important because as you are going down in calories and going up in calories and seeing so many changes in your nutrition, your meals are going to change and you're going to notice like, okay, we gave you another 200 calories. Now we gave you another 200 calories. You're 400 calories up and then your meals look the same. And then you're like, fuck, should I have this snack? And now your metabolism is increasing. And that's when it kind of gets a little bit more of a mess, right? So when we're talking about the macro, protein, carb, fat, veggie, fruit, having some fiber in there. Now, for snacks, we can also make those very intentional. So where I'm at right now is like if my snack isn't almost like a mini meal, I won't hit my calories for the day. And before I would just like have a fruit, have a granola bar, have a protein shake. But now, how can we start to add more to that as well? Right? So the meals overall, that's our number one focus. That's going to help with our satiety, our blood sugar, digestion, and muscle support, right? And then healthy snacks or just a very intentional snack, not like I grab a fruit, I grab a granola bar, I grab this piece of cake, I grab a cookie, and that's kind of all day. And then what happens there is we end up digesting too much throughout the day. You have these energy spikes and then you have these energy dips. And obviously, that doesn't make us feel so good because you're digesting all day. Your gut health isn't in place as well. So this is where it all really begins. Meals and snacks, both of them can have a place, but how can we be intentional with both of those? That's more, let's talk about it basically. Like if you have something in particular, you're like, hey, I want to build out a better meal, or I feel like I get hungry after breakfast. Let's talk about your specific setup. All right, now getting into gut health. A healthy gut, better digestion, better mood, better recovery, better body composition. We don't really think about gut health a lot when we start a journey because we're just like, yeah, fat loss, yeah, strength, yeah, like just again, the macro. But again, we don't want to make these decisions where we're going into our change journey, but we're not going in it with the idea of like, okay, let me also protect my gut health. Your gut and your brain are linked. Have you ever gotten a stomach ache and then you feel like you're just like you have a little bit of brain fog or just not in the mood, right? Those two are always going to be linked. So you don't need the kombucha, probiotics, prebiotics. Like, can they be helpful? Do they have their place? Yes. But what we want to start adding is variety to your diet. And again, gut health is also less stress, less chronic dieting, and less shitty ingredients, which we're going to get into. Less stress and less chronic dieting Dieting are huge. Beyond the variety, beyond the probiotics, beyond the prebiotics, this is huge because, again, mind, stomach are linked. If you're constantly in a stress state, we stress the gut. This is why so many women have gut issues. I've run into gut issues myself because 10 years ago, I decided that it was okay to cut everything out of my diet and not eat at all, right? So we don't want to go down that path. And I'm saying this to you not because you're going down that path, obviously you're not, but just showing you the opposite end of what can be chronic dieting and stress. So, simple foods for gut health and how we can incorporate that. So, when we have our carbs, right, things like oats, sweet potatoes, quinoa, right, we have our veggies, we have our fruits, we also have our herbs and spices, which are things that maybe you're not considering, but can be super, super simple. So, for example, I like to have cinnamon, it's very good at for anti-inflammatory, right? So, how can I just put cinnamon on my pancake or put cinnamon in my coffee? It's something that you don't really even notice is there. But again, we're adding micros, we're adding nutrients to your diet. Ginger, turmeric, parsley, cardamom, like I don't know if I said that right. Basil, oregano, all different things that you can just have in your pantry. And every so often, you just sprinkle it on. You sprinkle one new herb, one new spice onto something, adding variety. Same things comes with seeds, chia, flax, hemp, pumpkin. There's so many different seeds. And if maybe we're doing like one type of seed in your oats this month, and then next time you go shopping, you're getting a different type of seeds. These are ways to add more variety and fermented food as well. So these are going to be helping your good bacteria. We have yogurt, we have kimchi, sauerkraut. I just got sauerkraut, by the way, I haven't had it in so long. Kombucha, sourdough. So all of these little things, you're probably thinking like, oh, I haven't had quinoa in a really long time. I've just been doing like, I say this for myself, I've just been doing potatoes or rice, right? Can I get quinoa next time just so that I can add variety? If you're doing broccoli, maybe we're doing eggplant the following week. So we want to make sure that we're keeping that super, super simple. But all of these things, like you can screenshot that, I can send this to you if you want. How can we start to just get more curious and add more to your meals? Now, another thing is gut health in the label. This is one of my favorite brands ever. When it comes to snacks, when it comes to, I love my chocolate, I love my pancakes, I love like having different things in the house, just, you know, you never know when you need a snack. Simple Meals is so good. And where we can see the difference is when we look at, for example, a Simple Meals, right? Product, their ingredients are literally this. But when we look at something like, you know, those 0 calorie syrups, or you're getting cookies that are just like a whatever X brand, and you don't even know what is in that. So if you have an option to go for like these kind of cookies versus another kind of cookies, and this is what your cookies, the differences in your ingredients are, which one is going to be better long term for your health? So now that you guys are used to looking at the calories, looking at the amount of protein, like looking at the macros, now let's start to look at this side. And now let's go for ingredients or brands, aka Simple Meals. I fucking love them. Find them at Whole Foods, ShopRite. You can get them online. Like they are really, really, really good. How can we go for more ingredients like this? Because it's the same exact thing. It's the same exact calories. But when we think long term, one is going to be better for your health, one is going to be better for your gut health than the other. Um, Other things as well is like sometimes when we go into calorie deficit, we think low calorie or like 0 calorie is like good. Yes, technically, but I would much rather, and me, however many years ago, probably wouldn't have said this. Again, I learned from my own mistakes to teach you guys, but I would much rather you get a 100% like organic maple syrup rather than a 0 calorie syrup where the maple syrup, the ingredients are maple syrup, and the 0 calorie, the ingredients are this, right? Same things for maybe ranch dressing. There is probably 0 calorie of every single dressing out there. Yes, are you kind of helping a little bit in terms of calories? But long term, probably not helping. And we want to get into the habit of having those things and seeing that they do fit in your calories as well. So variety doesn't have to be super complicated. And I'm like a 0 to 100 kind of person. Like I want to just kind of get everything perfect, but it doesn't mean that you need 30 ingredients. It doesn't mean that you need a grocery list that is huge or super long, and then things end up going bad in your pantry. You get a bunch of different vegetables because you're trying to get a different color of vegetables in your meals every day. And like, I get it. And the idea is perfect, but variety doesn't mean variety every single meal. It doesn't mean variety every single day, nor does it mean variety every single week. Something that can be super simple is like every time you go to the grocery store, get your go-tos. Like we all, for example, I love my bananas. Like I need my bananas. But if maybe you did one kind of fruit one week, can we get a different kind of fruit this week? Or maybe we did broccoli and now we're doing eggplant and then we're doing peppers. Oh, I haven't done Brussels sprouts in a while. All right, can prepare them very, very similar ways. If you're doing rice, can we do quinoa? If you're doing oats, can we add some type of chia? Swap the type of berries that you're using, change your herbs, change your spices. So that's the way that I like to go about it. Every time I go to the grocery store, I love the grocery store. I spend a little bit extra time just looking around and asking myself, what's one new ingredient that I can add this week? And then you'll find where it fits. The cool thing is, once you add that ingredient to your week, whenever it pops up again, you're like, oh, I remember I had this ingredient, and then it becomes more part of your day. And you do one ingredient, one ingredient, one ingredient, one ingredient, and then your day is filled with hemp seeds and coconut flakes and different types of vegetables, different types of herbs. I have been doing like nutritional yeast, right? And you didn't even realize, but it was because you got one new ingredient every single week. Here's just like an example. This is egg whites and you have like toast in it, but we can take that. We can add maybe microgreens. I'm big on like, I love like just leafy greens. So I do spinach. Then I'll change it for arugula. And then I'll do microgreens. And then I'll do whatever other green is there. And then I just add and enhance it to that meal. Does this meal have more calories than this one? Yes. Technically. Is that contradictive to the calorie deficit? Yes, technically. But which meal is going to hold me down more? Which meal is going to speed up my metabolism more? Which meal is going to be better for my health? All right, so we can't look super, super short term into what's going to be the lowest amount of calories, what's going to be the fastest. I really want you to like explore adding more, more, more. Another thing that I've been doing is teas. Teas are also a great way to support digestion, bloat. They have all different types of benefits as well. I just kind of listed a couple here. My favorite, chamomile, ginger. I've been doing licorice root. It's not for everybody. It's really good for your digestion. It took me a while to kind of get into it, but different kinds of teas. I have a bunch of different ones in my pantry. I try to have at least one tea every single day. This is great for when you're in a calorie deficit and you want a little bit more after dinner or after lunch. After lunch, I usually do like a sweeter one. And then after dinner, I do one that's kind of like will reduce my cravings. So teas are are also a really good way to get these nutrients, and you're just drinking water that tastes better than water, right? So I would encourage you, try it out. Try having tea every single day. It's a very simple thing. It took me a while to get into a habit for whatever reason, but I've noticed over the past year, I've had different type of tea every single day. Now, I think this is the last section, maybe eating for performance. So this is just kind of like that cherry on top. Again, you're eating healthy. Now, how can we learn to time it a little bit more around your workouts? We did a lesson on this. I did like a really short one once that was pre-recorded. If you want me to send it to you and like it goes into a little bit more detail, I can. But does meal timing matter? So it can help, but it's definitely not like a magic tool. I personally, I don't stress it so much, especially because I work out in the morning. Do I eat before my workouts? No, I wake up and open my eyes and just try to get my life together before my workouts, and then I head out the door. So pre-workout, could it be beneficial? Maybe. Depends. Do you have enough calories for it? Is it better for you to fast in the morning because you just woke up and it's easier to go to your gym? Do you feel better performance when you go into a workout fed, or do you feel better performance when you go into a workout fasted? Right. But when we're thinking this, let's say you're not working out in first thing in the morning, pre-workout, carbs, a little bit of protein, basically something that is super easy to digest. We don't want any type of vegetables. We want this meal to be like super, super simple, super basic rice cakes, maybe some bread. Very, very simple and easy to digest. Intro workout. This is something that I think only a couple of you implement, and these are more like my marathon girls at the moment, or my girls who like have an excess amount of calories to work with. This is an easy way to get in your calories. So if I'm on a deficit, I'm just gonna push it and I don't have enough energy, but I'm grinding it out anyways. When we have an abundance of calories, now, for example, myself, it's hard for me to hit my calories. So having something intro workout where or like right before my workout, I've been doing like juices during my workouts. It's just way to fuel and energize and help in the building process. Not for everybody. For some of my girls that are running like 8 miles, 10 miles, 12 miles out of training for whatever marathon, then we do the intro workout. But for the most part, not necessarily necessary. And then post workout, protein, carbs. This one also doesn't matter as much. I don't want you guys to get like super into the nitty gritty of this particular aspect and feeling like at one point, I don't know if that's still like a thing, but people say like 30 minutes past your workout, like you have to have your protein shake or you're not gonna build muscle. Or like there's just like many, many things. Doesn't matter so much. So I bring this up because can it help your performance? Can paying attention to your food level up your performance and level up your nutrition? Yes. Is it really that big of a deal? And do most of you probably care about the minute details about how much exact carb you should be having before and after? Probably not. All right. So just an idea there. So this week I want to do a little bit more of a challenge with you, or just give you homework. I wouldn't call it a challenge, it's just homework. So next grocery trip, grab one new vegetable, grab one new fruit, one new herb, one new seed, if one new tea. Like if you decided to kind of get one in every category, great. But just grab something that is different. Grab, hey, I usually get these fruits, and this time I got completely different colors, completely different fruits. Just swap out and then add something new, right? Try to add this to your usual meals, see how you can fill it out in your day, and then take a picture of it and add it to the group just so we can get more inspiration. I love when you guys share your meals because I feel like sometimes even myself, I need more inspiration. So show us what are the new ingredients that you get. But again, go into your next grocery day thinking like, what can I add? And just get curious, look around. And if you see Simple Mills there, I promise you, such a good brand, you should totally get it. And again, just to kind of recap, one, you're already doing amazing. I know that you guys eat healthy. This wasn't for me to tell you to eat your protein or eat your fruit or eat your carbs. You're at that level, but how can we take our already good nutrition and make it better gut health? How can we take our already good nutrition and make it better for our energy throughout the day, right? There's always ways to enhance it. We start at the baseline and then we start building up from there. And then we learn more and more and more. And most importantly, keeping it simple. Variety, gut health doesn't have to be complex. And that is it for today. It was a quick call today. Oh, I always say it's going to be a quick call. It's never a quick call, but it was a quick call today. Remember our mantra that food is love and strength is power. And that is it. Let me stop sharing. Do we have any questions? Any questions, comments, concerns, or anything that you would like to share about something that works for you? I will add another thing. We have a bunch of different recipes in the spreadsheet that I made. Um, so those are always a good place to find something. But if you're also like, I feel like this one's the most common when you're like, hey, Nicole, like I want to incorporate more like plant-based options. I'll help you with that. So if there's something in particular that you want to incorporate, you're just not sure how to, then feel free to reach out for help. What are some options for adding seeds? iPhone. I don't know who that is. So, hello. Some options like what to add it to or what kind of seeds. I guess what to add it to. I just not recent. I guess like 2 years ago I started adding more seeds. Oh, it's Anna. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So what can you add it to? My favorite is hemp seeds. They have protein in them. They have the most protein and fat. And I personally struggle to get my protein and my fat. So those are like really good for me. I like hemp seeds because they are so diverse. You can add it to savory foods and you can also add it to sweet foods. So like I've added it to like my oats. I usually add it, I love adding it to my rice. I've added it on top of my eggs. Like it's kind of like a nuttier flavor. So those are my favorite. If you want to get like more protein, I would start with those. Flax seeds and protein shakes, like Maria mentioned, also a good one. I also do like ground flax seeds in my oatmeal. You don't even notice that it's really there, and I just kind of mix it up. Um, I've never really been like a chia person. So I don't know. I feel like that one I'm not very good at, but sometimes I'll add that to like my oats or my overnight oats. I like the chia. It gives me like, I don't know, like a bubble tea vibe because I did enjoy chia pudding for a little while. If you're a texture person, not for you. Psyllium husk on oatmeal. That's crazy. That's so funny. I just started incorporating that because I didn't know it existed. It doesn't really taste like much. I do psyllium husk is like it's like a form of fiber. Um, I like to do it in the morning. If you first start having it, like you will go. So just time it out if you don't want to like go at work. But I do like a tablespoon, I put it in water and then I just drink it. I've never thought to add it to my meals. So that one's really interesting. Everything but the bagel seasoning on toast or on my tofu scramble. Also love that. Seeds, a bunch of different ones. And I would never buy like poppy seeds. I had a sesame seed phase, but I have it there and then I just kind of sprinkle it on it. So also a really, really good one. Screenshotting all of these ideas. Yeah, there's so many. But when like I really love being so intentional with going to the grocery store. Like, I don't know, I just think it's an experience. Maybe it's because I just absolutely love food and food is love. But I love just like looking at different options. Like I'll stand by like the granola and I'll look at the ingredients or like I'm like, oh wow, I haven't done coconut flakes in like a really long time. I can add that to my oatmeal instead of like these seeds that I've been doing. So that's been one of my favorites. If you've never tried nutritional yeast, it's really, really good as well. It kind of tastes like it gives like a cheesy kind of feel to your meals. And it's just like all protein. It's super, super low calorie as well. Homemade chia lemonade with maple syrup for sweetener. Oh, wow. Chia jam is a fun thing to make with extra fruit. Huh. Homemade granola is great. I have never made homemade granola. I heard it's simple. Just
You
never.
can do it in a cast iron pan or like a frying pan too. Like you don't even have to turn on your oven. You just obviously have to keep an eye on it
Yeah.
because it'll burn. And then at the very end, you put like your honey, your maple syrup, whatever, and then it all just like comes together. I just take it off the heat at that point and I like make sure it's mixed and then I put it back so that it's not like burning.
Yeah.
And at the end you add your fruit, obviously, because then that'll go well with it because it'll cool down. It
Yeah.
works.
I like that. I heard that you had to bake it. I don't turn on my oven. Like it does not exist in my house. So I didn't
Yeah.
know you can actually do it on the pan.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. And you can make like small batch so you could like experiment if you want to do like half your week one way, half week the other, so you don't get bored. Like I like to make like a pumpkin one for my mom when it's like fall outside because she likes that. And I'll do like a pumpkin spice
Ooh.
kind of thing.
I like
Yeah.
Thank you. I have a bag of coconut flakes that I have not wanted to use because I got over my coconut flakes era. So I'm like, I want to use this on something. So I think I'm just gonna make that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Anybody else? Any questions or anything unrelated to today? Andrea.
I guess I really wanted to thank you for talking about structured snacks because when you were saying like, oh, I used to just like mindlessly snack and then like you're digesting all day, that was definitely me. Like I was a grazer, but I thought that it was okay because like I played sports in high school and everyone was like, oh yeah, like you're a growing girl, like you should be eating blah blah. And it's like yes and no, right? It's like not so black and white. And I really struggled with that. And then when you were talking about how like, oh yeah, this one meal is technically antithetical to the calorie deficit, but that's not like you have to see the forest through the trees. And I think in the beginning of this journey, like I really struggled with that because I was the no sugar syrup girly.
Mm,
I was like, put that and like all of the no sugar alternatives, like anything on TikTok that was like, this has 0 calories, like do this. And sometimes it can help like mentally, but then at the same time, it really is just fluff sometimes.
yeah.
And you should just be okay with like, I'm gonna fuel my body with this right thing and like learn to be okay with that portion and not need to like have more. I don't know. It's a journey. So I like that you touched on that. It made me feel seen.
Yeah, no, I got you. My like snack meal journey has been like a big trial and error, especially because I've been focusing on like eating more for so long that I'll make a meal and then 2 hours later I'm like, well, I guess that wasn't filling at all. And then I'll have a snack because then I'll grab like I did this thing where like I shouldn't be eating right now because I just ate. So I grabbed like a small snack. And then and an hour later, I'm like, I'm still hungry. So then I have to grab another snack. But when you're going throughout like that trial and error, obviously one, like pause and like, okay, how can I fix this so I don't get into a snacking frenzy and like actually have a meal? But most importantly, try something else the next day. So like, can we add another egg to your breakfast? Can we add some seeds? Like, can we build out a certain meal? And then through trial and error, you're going to start building out these meals and really find like a structure that works well for you. For me, I eat at 8, 12:30, 3:30, and 6. And it's just like clockwork now. And I know that if my snack isn't filled, I'm not going to hit my calories. But I had that structure pure trial and error. It took me a while. I won't lie. It took me a really long time. Sarah.
What are you eating at 3:30? Is that your snack?
Yeah, that's my snack.
Okay. I'm finding a hard time between my lunch and like dinner routine with work, and I'm like I come home like slightly ravenous. So I need to incorporate a little bit more. But another question, at what point, sometimes I feel like I'm relying too much on the protein shakes.
Okay.
Um, is there a point in I guess process where you'll start to develop those meals and phase out, or are you finding that you're always having a, sh a shake for, a snack or something like that?
So I haven't had protein powder in a really long time, which is different for me. It doesn't digest well with me, what I've noticed. When I'm in a deficit, I'll use it more because it's just straight protein and like it's easier than being able to like pair a meal with carbs. So I think when you're in a deficit, if you're having like 1 to 2 scoops per day, should be fine. But you're gonna notice like when we start to build out your calories more, you're gonna be able to have, let's say something like, I don't know, beans that like you're like it's technically a protein, but it's a carb as well. And like I don't have room for my carbs. I just need like the protein side. So when we start to add in more calories, you're gonna also add in carbs that have protein in it, and then naturally that's gonna go up. So I wouldn't stress it too much right now. Do your best if you can, like I don't know, do like I've been doing like hard boiled eggs in my fridge, and I just kind of have that with my snack. It's really random. So that's been like what works for me, but I think it just comes with time that you'll start like phasing it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Good question. Any other questions?
Hi, I have a question.
Nice haircut.
Um, Thank you. What was I gonna say? Okay, two things. You're not saying that we shouldn't snack? Because I remember when we onboarded, you have us, take a picture of our food and
Mhm.
looking at like how much we're eating and snacking, right? So like um what you're saying just with your presentation, you're not saying that snacking is not okay, but just like being intentional about it. Is
Yeah.
that right? Okay.
Yes. Don't
Um,
let it become like I'm having some pita chips and then I'm having some berries and then I'm having this and this and this. And then
yeah,
you're like, I could have had like a really good snack instead. That's what I'm kind of.
right. Like a substantial thing.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, maybe this is something I can like just talk more about when we do our check-in. But like since we've increased my calories, it was kind of a learning curve because I was like, wait, I'm supposed to eat more, but it's like, how do I restructure my meals given the calories that I have? And so it was kind of a because at first I was like, okay, maybe just have bigger portions, but then I was like, I can't eat that much food in a portion. So I'm like, okay. So anyway, I've been keeping my meals like the same as like my deficit, but just having like for example, since I can have more carbs, like more fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or like there's these bars that I like, and so like I'll have like a bar and like so anyway, that's okay. So you're saying just like be really intentional instead of like being
Yes.
like
So in
yeah.
your particular case, and this will be everybody at some point if you're not there already. When we initially increase calories, we also increase volume. When you're in a deficit, your meals are, they're pretty small. You could do volume, but like they're gonna be smaller. So when we increase, what we do is we like add a little bit more volume. We like have like a heftier sandwich, I'll say, in a sense. But it comes to a point of volume where you can't increase anymore because the meal just gets too big. Now, this is where what I just kind of mentioned today makes it better because let's take an oat bowl, for example. You're like, okay, well, I need to hit an extra 300 calories in a day. And usually I have this bowl of oats. Now I'm going to add seeds to my oats. You're not even really going to notice that they're there, but now you're increasing your calorie intake. So that's kind of what we're going for. It's normal for you to run into like, damn, I made this meal and then I kind of made it massive. Um, we have a lesson on that. If you message me, I will send it to you because it kind of gets into like how we can incorporate more food and what not to do. But what you can also do tomorrow is like take pictures of your food, send it to us so that I can be like, okay, if I was eating more or trying to fill in more calories, this is what I would do to like XYZ meals. But it's normal to have like a massive like damn end of the day or like you end up with a bunch of different snacks because you're in like a testing area. You're like learning something new. Cool. Anybody else? Good questions today. I love these questions. I also love that we're asking these questions because after calls, I get really good questions. You're like, oh, I didn't want to ask it on the call. That wasn't the topic. I'm like, it's a good question. Everybody's asking me the same question. All right, I will let you guys go. Last little announcement. We will be away this Friday until next week, next Friday. So we will be, it's Maria's birthday, so we're going to El Salvador. Super, super exciting. She hasn't been since she was like a little girl, so it's super exciting. But anyways, long story short, I will make an announcement for it. I already messaged you guys for like adjusting certain people's check-ins. For some people, it won't really make a difference, but usually like we're really, really on top of response times. Now we'll probably respond like in the morning and at the end of the day. So just kind of have grace with us. It's only a week. You guys have probably done this before, where I go away. If you have questions, let me know.
Nicole, can we still check in now?
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can stay. Everybody else, peace out. How do I end this recording? Doo-doo-doo.